Hello, Jesse here at GPS City. Garmin is now including lifetime maps and traffic with select Nuvi models. To identify which Nuvis come with lifetime maps and traffic, they're identified by this blue arrow on the front of the box. The lifetime maps are already pre-enabled in these units. All you need to do is register your unit. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm also going to show you how to download your first update. Let's navigate to the Garmin website. On the Garmin website, we click on My Garmin. Then if we have a username and password, we could log in right away. If you're new to Garmin and don't have a username and password, just click on Create New Account and enter in the necessary data. Once your account is created, just go back to the My Garmin page and log in. Now that we're inside our account and can see the Garmin dashboard, we could register. So click on Register. Now we're going to need to select GPS devices because we're going to be registering this Nuvi. Before we get started and go any further, we're going to need our product serial number, the unit itself, a USB cable, and the Garmin update process is also going to install a software called Garmin Communicator. This is going to help communicate with the GPS device. Now that we verified we have all the necessary parts to continue, just click on Continue. Now let's enter in our serial number. This is located on the box or on the bottom of the unit, depending on what you have. But even some units have it in the battery cover. Hit Submit once the serial number is entered. Now the computer is going to try to communicate with the GPS device, so you're going to need to have it plugged in. Once the device is detected, it's going to show up on the next page. Just verify it's the right device and click Continue. You'll see that the free space is only about 69 megabytes. Don't worry about that because it's going to delete the old map when it puts the new map in. Now that our unit's registered, we could go back to our dashboard and get our free map update. The first thing the dashboard is going to do is just going to scan for any devices, and since your device is hooked up, it's going to find it. And it's also going to list that there's a map update available. So we'll just wait for this process to finish. Oh, here we go. And now on the right hand side, you'll see that there is a map update available. So we're going to need to click on Update Now and follow the process step by step. The reason why the map update was available so quickly is because this is an LMT model. The lifetime map subscription is included. Other models that don't include this, you buy the subscription separately and you activate the subscription on a different website. But everything's already done for us by Garmin, so all we need to do is just log into our account and download the update. The Garmin website is going to try to install Garmin Communicator plugin if you don't have it already installed. If you do, it's just going to make sure it's up to date. Then it's going to detect your device and move on to the next step. Now that everything is okay with the Garmin Communicator plugin, we can now download our map update software. This is going to download a small file that you install on your computer and run. Once you run this file, it's going to download the software from Garmin's website. I'm running a Mac, so it's a DMG file, not an exe. Windows is going to be identical, just with a different software you're going to be running, but it's going to be called the same. Now that the software is downloaded, I'm going to install it on my Mac, and then I'm going to run it once it's installed. Once the software finishes installing, you're going to want to run it with your unit plugged in. It's going to recognize your unit, as you can see. Then we just have some licensing agreements to agree to. Once we're done agreeing to those, it's going to move on to the next step, updating the unit, because you're going to want to make sure your unit has the latest firmware in it before proceeding with the map update. So that's what's happening right now. Once the update is complete, you're going to need to disconnect your GPS and let it reboot to apply the update. Once that is done, you're going to want to plug your GPS back in so the Garmin software can move on to the next step. The next steps are downloading the maps. Once the maps are downloaded, You're going to need to prepare the maps. Once the maps are prepared, then install the maps. I'm just going to cut most of this out because this does take a few hours. I usually recommend do it overnight. Make sure your computer doesn't go into sleep though. Once the maps are installed, we could check the version. Every unit's a little different, so please read your manual. Most units click Tools, then Settings, and then in My Maps or Maps, there's going to be an info button where you could check your version. That was a quick run through of registering your unit and updating the maps with the included lifetime subscription in the LMT models.